It's been a wonderful conference. It's a great day for the NAS. It's also Texas Independence Day. And Steve Balch, the newest Texan among us, led us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So Texas is still in the Union, no matter what Rick Perry says. And my daughter is also a Texan. So we're very happy we Texans are here in New York City to celebrate Texas Independence Day, which just happens to be Tom Wolfe's birthday. How about that? Cat's out of the bag. I really wish my parents could be here today. Their many years of support of Bill Buckley and his project to stand athwart history yelling stop can be seen to be paying off here as we honor a young Buckleyite, Lauren Noble. My parents actually sent me to college hoping I would write God and Woman at Vassar. They obviously underestimated how long it would take to find a female Bill Buckley, and I was definitely not a female Bill Buckley. But in Lauren Noble, we may have found her. Allow me to tell you a little about Lauren and about this award that she has so ably earned. Irish monasteries, I did not write this, by the way. You know, plagiarism is not approved of in the NAS. Our great writer-in-chief, Peter Wood, wrote this. Irish monasteries in the 9th century were ripe pickings for Vikings raiders who made off with booty and slaves and frequently burned what was left. An observer at the time might reasonably have assumed the future belonged to the barbarians. He would, of course, been wrong. The force of civilization asserted itself in the long run. The Irish eventually learned how to fight off the marauders, and the Vikings themselves decided to settle down and founded, among other things, the city of Dublin. It explains a lot, doesn't it? That epoch, when Western civilization was clinging precariously close to extinction on the bare rocks at the fringe of Europe, seems more than a metaphor for many of us who contemplate conditions today. We are heirs to a rich and complex civilization, but one which was staggered in the last century by 2 world wars and the unimaginable brutality of death camps. A century, too, of vertiginous destruction of cultural form and content, and a century that invented whole new intellectual rationalizations for dismantling and discarding the authority of clear thinking and good ideas. It was in the wake of World War I that another Irish voice of civilization, William Butler Yeats, foresaw the coming century. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The prospect of mere anarchy is cheered on today by some, but not by all. Among the forces arrayed against it is the movement founded some 60 years ago by a graduate of Yale University, William F. Buckley, Jr. His book, God and Man at Yale, published in 1951, enunciated what would become one of the major threads of modern conservative thought, that the university had strayed from its abiding educational mission. The university is one of a handful of institutions that are indispensable to civilization, and its appointed role is to ensure the survival and transmission from generation to generation, not just of specialized knowledge, but also of higher ideals, coherence of thought, loyalty to free inquiry, and qualities of character without which the mere knowledge is a dead letter. One need not be a conservative to hold these principles. They transcend politics. But they do not transcend the spirit of intellectual and cultural barbarism, which has now taken deep root in our society and especially in our universities. Will the Vikings prevail this time? We have good reason to think they will not. A new generation of young leaders is emerging and ready to and willing to resist. Tonight, we honor one of these young leaders. Miss Lauren Noble is the founder of the William F. Buckley, Jr. program at Yale, which she established as an undergraduate student. Now a graduate, she heads the organization she created. The Buckley program, advised by Professor Donald Kagan, has mounted a series of events featuring speakers such as Norman Podhoretz, Lee Edwards, John Gaddis, M. Stanton Evans, and Elliot Abrams. The William F. Buckley Jr. program at Yale is a small but good thing, and its founding has done little to rescue Yale from its decadence, let alone the great herd of colleges and universities crowding around the banks of postmodernism to lap at the muddy water. But it is from small and good things that larger and better things will be built. And it is the energy and initiative demonstrated by Lauren Noble that gives us good reason to hope that larger things will be built. The Barry Gross Memorial Award was created to honor outstanding individuals who have contributed to the defense of academic freedom, intellectual culture, and education reform. The NAS has bestowed this award on eminent figures. Lauren, you are the youngest by far, and we are pleased that this award will be the first among many that will adorn your career. Lauren Noble, for your success in creating the William F. Buckley Jr. program at Yale, and for your commitment to the ideals of civilization and the principles of education reform, the National Association of Scholars is pleased to confer on you the 2013 Barry Gross Award. Would you like to say something? Congratulations. Lauren Noble.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here, and it's certainly humbling to associate myself with the many distinguished past recipients of this award, its admirable namesake, and an indispensable organization like the National Association of Scholars. Thanks for all you do, and thanks very much to Peter Wood for inviting me. I must confess that I feel a little out of my league here tonight, and no, it's not because I'm a Yaley on Crimson territory. Rather, it's because all the previous recipients of this award have enjoyed long careers advancing the cause of educational reform. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but standing here tonight, I find some common ground with Walter Mondale, relative youth and inexperience. And so with that in mind, I accept this award as a challenge to do more. Those of you in this room require no reminders that we have on our hands a state of intellectual emergency on college campuses across America. 2 years ago, we founded the Buckley program as a course correction. Our mission is simple: to promote intellectual diversity at Yale. We seek to facilitate a more balanced discourse on campus because we believe that its absence does not bode well for students of all political stripes. We're not looking to preach to the choir, but instead we aim to revitalize the ideals that are central to liberal arts education. The program started off small, but our modest speaker series quickly developed a following, and within less than a year, we had added an internship program, hosted our first major conference appropriately on the 60th anniversary of God and Man at Yale, and more. Above all else, I'm indebted to the students of Yale. They make this venture both possible and worthwhile, and their enthusiastic engagement makes me optimistic about the future of reform. The demand is certainly there where it matters most. I've been blessed with no shortage of support and inspiration, including many excellent teachers and mentors. One deserves a special mention: my Yale professor, Al Felsenberg, who taught a course on William F. Buckley Jr. during the fall of my senior year. This seminar played no small part in inspiring what became the Buckley program. The Buckley program has also enjoyed the critical support of a thoroughly excellent board of directors, including Roger Kimball, Judge James Buckley, Neil Freeman, Mike Frank, Professor Donald Kagan, and Jim Pearson, as well as donors who have been willing to place bets on 20-somethings. I also want to thank my friend Nathaniel Zielinski, whose leadership and organization building skills are second to none. Finally, I owe my parents much. They have always believed in me and instilled in me a love of learning and an independence of mind. Let me close by saying why the cause of higher education reform is important to me. About 70 years ago, my great-grandfather was selling wholesale produce just over in Brooklyn. Another great-grandfather was moving his family from farm to farm in North Dakota because he couldn't pay the rent. And yet another was hiding diamonds in the soles of his unsuspecting son's shoes, keeping them hidden from the Nazis as he led his family out of Europe and into safety. These men didn't go to college, but their children did. And it's in this country that those children become professors, engineers, and scientists. The stakes are too high to allow our universities to continue down a course that renders the education they provide unaffordable and in some cases meaningless. We may face a long road ahead, but this is a cause worth fighting for. Thank you very much.